my great pleasure to welcome Broadway Company Manager and Co-Chair of the Broadway Green Alliance, Susan Sampliner.
Hi there. My name is Susan Sampliner, and I'm honored to introduce my friend and colleague, Marjorie Horne. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a former company manager, but I spent my formative years trying to become one of you, a stage manager. I didn't know what other career paths were open to me. I just knew I wasn't going to be an actor. En route, one of the first side jobs I took was answering the box office phones at Circle in the Square downtown for I'm Getting My Act Together, and taking it on the road, where I met the stage manager there, one Miss Marjorie Horne. 3 years later, I had found my way into company management when the producers and general manager of Greater Tuna, which was about to be produced at the same theater, asked if I knew a great off-Broadway stage manager. I recommended Marjorie, and that's when we got to be friends. That show was so much fun, but stand-up memories for me are the welcome breakfast at Tavern on the Green, when those Texas company members got introduced to brunch as a concept. And then crescent rolls, those were croissants. And the fatal night at the Cottonwood Cafe, when those same boys introduced me to the world of tequila shots. And I acquired the nickname Sue Sam. Almost nobody would know that now. A group of us outside the company met on that show, and we became a tight group who had regular lunches and outings. We called ourselves the Bevy, and the group met for years. Marjorie not only managed that off-Broadway run, but ended up taking Greater Tuna on the road, which was highly unusual for an off-Broadway show at that time. I visited the show on its first stops in Texas, and we got to know each other even better. We did 2 other short-running shows together, Hey Ma, Kay Ballard at the Promenade, and Street Corner Symphony at the Atkinson, where I got her a PA job to get her a chance to work on her first original Broadway musical. After I moved down to the Public Theater, associate producer Steve Cohen brought her in to stage manage a few shows, including the first revival of Sophie Treadwell's Machinal and Tony Kushner's amazing A Bright Room Called Day. And we got to overlap during my tenure there as well. From there, our paths went different routes. I went back to work for Broadway offices while she was ensconced in the world of off-Broadway. Throughout those years, as we grew up in this business, we became not only great friends, but each other's strongest cheerleader. Along the way, she moved to San Francisco, got a college degree in archaeology, an interest we both shared, and then spent years traveling the world and going on digs between her off-Broadway, touring, and event stage management gigs. And that's what I always found so unique about Marjorie, all the other things she managed to explore as well as stage managing. She got involved with politics, combining her interest in stage management and politics by working on political events and campaigns, even stage managing the Clinton Global Initiative for over 11 years. She joined Equity Council and helped found both the Stage Managers Association and the SMAF. And when the Broadway Green Alliance, an organization that I helped to start, found itself without a director for a short period, it was Marjorie I called to come help lead the group on an interim basis until we found someone who could take over, and who then stayed for years on the BGA steering committee. It was after seeing how she ran the organization that I realized that we would be best served by having a stage manager as our director in the future. And that eventually led to Molly Braverman, who's running it brilliantly today. I could go on a greater length lauding all her achievements in and outside of the theater, but I'm out of time. So I'll turn the mic over to her. Please help me welcome and congratulate my friend, the 2025 Del Hughes Award honoree, Marjorie Horne.
now if there was one. But now I have to be able to see. Susan, thank you so much for our friendship and our work together. I want to thank the SMA, the committee, and those who kindly nominated me. I thank you, Doc and Hillary. I also want to thank everyone who honored me by putting ads in the program. So that was really cool. I mean, I knew some of them, but. And I want to say how honored I am to be sharing the stage with these three women. I'm a founding member of the SMA. I've been here from the beginning. But this honor is very dear to me in another way. I was actually part of the founding of this award in 1986. Before the internet, I remember going to the Library of the Performing Arts and looking through all the theater worlds to find the credits for those of the people that we were considering for this award.
Oh my God.
I was chair when we honored Jerry Adler and Morty Halpern. I took Morty Halpern to lunch at Sardi's, and he told me the stories of when he was stage managing Peter Pan, that he and Cyril Richard and Jean Arthur would come in for lunch between shows. Those of us that were part of those meetings always talked about the venerable members of our community. I guess I'm one of them now. I'm overwhelmed, I'm shocked, and I'm loving it. I know my career path has not been a normal one. I've certainly had a very wild and crazy life. Acting, stage managing theater and events, working on political campaigns, going on digs, and of course, 20 years on the Tony Awards. I want to thank Alan Hall for bringing me into work with him. I've loved being part of the off-Broadway community, bringing new plays to life, being in the room with new playwrights, directors, designers as they develop their work. This arena has been my home, my safe place, given me inspiration, and introduced me to three of the most inspiring and important people in my theater life. I've been part of this arena since the 70s, when it was just beginning to blossom. In 1973, I was hired as the ASM on When You Comin' Back, Red Ryder. It was a showcase at Circle Repertoire Theater. And I want to thank Marshall Mason for taking me under wing that season. That's when I met, when my friendship and my work relationship with Kevin Conway started. I met Kevin as an actor, but he also became a director, and we worked together as a team. Red Ryder in New York, and then in Los Angeles. Life Class at Manhattan Theater Club. Other People's Money in New York and Los Angeles. Short Eyes at Second Stage. He was a best friend and an incredible colleague. I met Ward Baker, also on a non-contract gig, a cabaret. But when Gretchen Cryer and Nancy Ford asked him to direct on getting my act together and taking it on the road at the Public Theater, he insisted that I be the stage manager. I had to go in for an interview with Joe Papp. He agreed to hire me, but made sure that I knew he was giving me my big break. Indeed, he did, but it was not only because that show ran for 3 years. It was also because it gave me the opportunity to go on my first archaeology dig. Thank you, Steve Cohen, for giving me the leave of absence, and for giving me a job after I graduated college. And I want to thank Word for believing in me. Then, in 1993, I got a call from the Public Theater to interview for a new play that Jerry Gutierrez was directing. I knew I was going to get the job because another of my side paths were about to cross over with my theater life. I actually met Jerry a couple of years before this while I was on staff for Geraldine Ferraro's first Senate campaign. Wendy Wasserstein was supporting Jerry, and Jerry was one of her best friends. I did get the job, Connie Cogden's Dog Opera, and then Jerry took me to Lincoln Center to do Tom Donaghy's Northeast Local, and then we went to Playwrights Horizons for Boys and Girls. We became very good friends and political pals. There is another part of my life in the theater that I'm very proud of. In the 70s, I joined both the stage managers and the off-Broadway committees at Actors Equity. In both of those committees, we grappled with how were stage managers going to get the recognition we should have as a major part of helping the production come to life. We talked about not being able to negotiate above minimum salary. What else could we ask for? We started asking for our names to be on the title page. And now look, our names are almost always on the title page. We talked about the hours we worked, coming in early, staying late. And now, on all of our contracts, we have 20 and 10% above the actor's minimum. It may not be enough, but we're getting there. And most of those showcase theaters are now on full off-Broadway contracts. And we even get mentioned at the Tony Awards sometimes. I remember sitting in the booth theater when the SMA put the resolution on the floor to create designated seats for stage managers at Equity Council. How amazing was it when we actually found out that we got them? I was stage managing a show in 1991 that Patrick Quinn was in. He encouraged me to run for one of those seats on council. I did, and I won. I served until 2022. One of my proudest achievements is when Ira Mont and I reconstituted the Legislative Committee, which is now the National Public Policy Committee. Actors Equity is now active in making national public policy and endorsing candidates. I'm also very proud to serve this community in other ways, volunteering for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS events, and as Susan mentioned, as part of the Broadway Green Alliance, and being a founding member of the Foundation for Stage Managers. The theater community is one of the most generous and understanding of all the communities in the world. I hope I have given a little bit back for all that it has given to me. Thank you so much.